Hello and welcome back to Sorare Assist. So we've got some transfer news coming up for you today, guys. Some of the latest goings on, wheeling and dealing in the transfer market. If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not signed up to Sorare yet, sign up using the link below. You'll get a free limited card. You'll also get to draft your teams as well, of course. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook and check out SorareAssist.com. Okay then, guys, let's get straight into it and look at the latest transfer news then in the world of Sorare. So this is reported by TalkSport. Iniesta looks like he is going to be leaving Vissel Kobe, but he has no plans to retire. Spain legend Andre Iniesta has confirmed he's leaving Japanese club Vissel Kobe and has no plans to retire. The 39-year-old, who has spent 5 years at the J-League outfit, admitted his decision is due to lack of playing time. 2010 winner who won 4 Champions League titles with Barcelona broke down in tears in a press conference on Thursday to announce his departure. And Iniesta said he wants to keep playing football. I feel like I am capable of still playing. But as this chapter closes, we'll see what's possible. I want to finish my career on the pitch playing, and this is what I'm hoping to do. So it will be interesting to see where Iniesta ends up. He is 39 now. I think probably the more likely scenario, they'll probably look to get a move to the Saudi Arabia or something like that. Probably a little bit easier level of football, and he'll obviously be on big wages there as well. Kieran Dowell has now signed for Rangers. So Rangers confirmed the arrival of Norwich City midfielder. They've signed him on a free transfer. The 25-year-old scored 5 goals in 26 appearances this season, but has not played since February after suffering knee ligament damage. He made 16 Premier League starts in the previous campaign as Norwich were relegated. Dowell has agreed a 3-year deal with the Scottish Premiership side. So this is probably going to be good for his Sorare prospects, I would say, signing for Rangers. You could argue it's an easier league than the Championship. Looking fairly cheap at the moment as well. Whether he's going to be a starter or not, that's yet to be confirmed. But he has got some fairly decent scores in the games that he did play in the Championship. 26 starts, 9 goals, 4 assists. Some pretty good all-round score there, really. I think that should improve at Rangers if he does start. Now, Jordi Alba is set to leave Barcelona. And he's going to be leaving them at the end of the season. So he's agreed to terminate his contract with the new camp a year earlier, because his contract was actually due to expire in 2024, but I'm guessing he's not going to be promised any playing time. The left back has decided it's time to step aside as Barcelona, but at the age of 34, still has a few years left before he hangs up his boots. So where could the possible scenarios be for Jordi Alba going forward then? So there's a few rumours going around. One potential option, Saudi Arabia. And there's already been talk that Alba, Busquets and Messi could head to the Middle East this summer, but it's not clear if it's really a move that appeals. Alba may prefer to stay in Europe, especially with his wife expecting the couple's failed child, and Atletico, Manchester United and Inter are all thought to be keen. Inter have also been linked with a move for Alba previously and could now try again. Juventus are also thought to be admirers of the Barcelona left-back, which means Serie A could be an option. So it's interesting then, we'll see what happens with Alba's future, but as we know on Sorare, when he does get those games, these are all the games he started for Barcelona, 107 starts, we can see some fantastic scores. Now, I think he is probably capable still of playing for a big club. And I think it was probably the wage demands that he's got. The actual wages that it was on at Barcelona is probably the issue. Barcelona do want to cut that wage bill currently. But it could be maybe an interesting punt here, especially if he does stay in Europe. Now, Atlanta United agrees to sell Brazilian winger Luis Araújo to Flamengo for $10 million after the 26-year-old failed to adapt to MLS since his transfer from French League Side 1, Lille. Araújo had 3 goals and 2 assists for the 5 Stripes in 13 matches this season. So it looks like he is heading to Flamengo. So it'll be interesting to see how he does get on in the Brazilian League. As we can see, these are the score from the MLS. So it wasn't too bad of a score really in the MLS. Whether it's going to be easier in the Brazilian League or not, I don't know. But of course, it is his home country as well. So that should probably help the 26-year-old forward. And just to confirm this, Alejandro Grimaldo has now signed for Leverkusen on a free transfer. This is a good pickup for Leverkusen. Obviously, we know that it was an absolutely fantastic scorer at Benfica on Sorare, as we can see here from his averages. Some absolutely astronomical scores. He's probably one of the best scorers, defenders in the last year on Sorare. So whether that's going to improve or not at Leverkusen, Wouldn't say it's going to improve. It's probably going to reduce his scores a little bit. I would say that German league is potentially a little bit of a harder league, but I think he's got the quality to succeed still, and he could still be churning out some decent scores. João Pedro has now signed for Brighton from Watford for a club record fee. And that fee is 30 million. So the 21-year-old joined Watford in 2020 and scored 24 goals and 109 appearances, including 11 this season in the Championship. He will join Brighton in the summer on a contract that runs until 2028. So a big deal there for the young forward. Now he was a really good SO5 player as well, as we know with his scores. Got some really decent scores here. If we filter this to all his scores, the games he started. Got some really decent numbers, especially over the last season as well. Now obviously he's moving to a hard division in the Premiership, but he is playing for a fairly decent side. So we'll see how he gets on at his new club. So Feyenoord have reached an agreement to sign Zerouki from 20. So Feyenoord pushed to sign Zerouki in January but could not make the deal happen. However, they have now moved to make sure the midfielder arrives in the summer. Both Feyenoord and 20 have announced that the deal has been agreed and they will see Zerouki part 20 in the summer. The Algerian will sign a multi-year contract with Feyenoord with a fee not yet revealed. So he's had a good season this season for 20. And he's probably moving to a similar standard of club, I would say. So we could probably expect these scores to probably stay around the same level that they are currently. He's obviously moving to the same league as well. So I don't think it's going to affect his scores too much on Sorare. And there is another story here that Cincinnati's Brenner has now completed a club record transfer to Udinese. Now this is probably not going to be good news for the owners of Brenner on Sorare, because he's going to be obviously playing in a much more difficult league than the MLS. But you never know, he is still young, so he's still got room to improve, and we'll see how he gets on at his new team. Steph Peters has now left Eupen on a free transfer. So he is now a free agent. Now it would be interesting to keep an eye on this to see where he is going to potentially move. If I filter this to all his time in the Belgium League and games he started, you can see he's got some fairly decent scores and not bad at it as well. 93 appearances, 12 goals, 19 assists. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. He's going pretty cheap at the moment. If he moves to a better side than Eupen, which won't be that difficult in the Belgium League, then this could be a really good punt. Arthur Musauka has now completed his move, a permanent move, to Besiktas. West Ham have confirmed that Musauka has completed a permanent transfer to Turkish Super League club Besiktas. Musauka initially joined Besiktas on a season-long loan from the Hammers in August and has featured 27 times in all competitions for the Turkish team, scoring twice. And he's actually been scoring really well for Besiktas as well since he did join them, so I've had my eye on this transfer myself. Now, these are the scores that he's had during his time at Besiktas so far, which as you can see, are absolutely fantastic. And now it has been confirmed that he will be staying at the club. He's made 29 appearances so far, 2 goals, 5 assists as well. He's got a real good average score for all these 29 games, 57 on average, and an 88 of 16.8. So I think he's looking a really good option here. His price isn't looking too bad either. Besiktas are obviously a top side as well in Turkey, and I do think that they've already qualified for Europe next season as well, for that midweek utility. So I think Musauka has certainly benefited from this transfer, especially on Sorare. So Barcelona then, among others. So Barcelona among a host of clubs tracking the forward Marcus Thuram. Now Thuram has obviously left on a free transfer. He's left Borussia Mönchengladbach. And some of the teams that are interested in the forward are Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Inter, Madrid, Atletico, Seville, Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal and Aston Villa are all potentially interested in the 26-year-old forward. So this could be interesting then. His price isn't looking too bad either at the moment, and there's a lot of big clubs there mentioned that seem to be interested in Thuram. Probably the worst one is probably going to be Chelsea, with the way that club's being run at the moment. But if we look at his scores in the Bundesliga, filter it to games he's started as well, he has got a history of some really decent scores. Now if he does move somewhere like Bayern Munich, that is obviously going to improve. And he is in amongst these France squad as well. So I think this could be a really, really good potential punt here. He's only 25 as well. Now Rami Benzebaini is linked with Roma as Spinazzola's replacement. Now this is another player that also played for Mönchengladbach. He is leaving as well on a free, and Roma are potentially interested. He's only 28, and Roma are obviously a decent team in the Italian division. These are the scores that he's got when he was playing for the German outfit. So he's got some fairly decent scores, really, some good 8-8 as well. Whether he's going to be a first teamer at Roma is yet to be seen. But it looks like they are a team that's potentially interested on a free transfer for this defender. So that was all the notable transfer news so far. I will be doing these transfer shows each week now, so we can catch all the news from the last 7 days. I will be doing that going forward. If you do like the videos, let me know. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out SorareAssist.com. You can also pick up your free Sorare ebook as well now. That is available to download for free. There is a link in the description if you wish to do that. Okay then guys, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you again on the next video.